welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are watching this video and you haven't subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Okay, so I conducted a Q&A on Facebook, and people asked me questions to ask you, Mcebo, which you are supposed to answer. Some of them are very interesting. Well, there is one that is very interesting, but okay. So, question number one: did the Fees Must Fall movement campaign interrupt your studies? And if so, how?
Well, remember that the Fees Must Fall it grew and it became a national movement. I would say that education and academics were interrupted, not just for me, but in the country in its entirety. It was disrupted because classes were stopped for almost 2 months, sometimes 3 months, and it normally happened when we were approaching exams. So we were interrupted, and some of us, because we were leading it, it means that even when we would meet before a meeting, we will meet during a meeting, we will meet after the meeting, meaning that we must plan for the following day. Once the following day has arrived, we must also continue planning when we are leading it. When students have been dismissed, saying that now it's at night, we are going to meet for the following day, we must meet and debrief. So we never had time to say we protest during the day, we study at night. So we were just interrupted and we failed. I failed in 2015. And then in 2016 again, because it continued, I also failed again in 2016. So my academic year was added with 2 years. It was supposed to be a 3-year a postgraduate degree, because I started the postgraduate LLB in 2015. So in 2015, I was doing a first year of my postgraduate LLB. So I failed. And then I failed again in 2016. But in 2016, I failed because I was arrested.
Are your dreams deferred after the arrest and criminal record?
Well, I wouldn't say deferred, but probably delayed.
Okay.
I had dreams like everyone else. I was looking forward to say by the end of this year I will be admitted as an advocate, because I focused mainly on a constitution and the administrative law and human rights, which is the Bill of Rights. So I was looking forward to be one of the top constitutional lawyers in the country, but I wouldn't say again now that will never happen, but it is a bit delayed.
Okay. How was your life as a student in Wits? What were your wins and your losses?
Okay. Well, as a student, when I went to Wits as I'm not coming from a very, very poor background. My mother was poor, but my father could afford. But I grew up in the township. So I experienced poverty through friends and stuff, because you understand. So, and I also went to a modesty school for my high school. So, but I was in a better position that I know poverty and I also know decent living, because my father could afford. But it separated me from those that I grew up with in the township. But I was politically conscious. It conscientized me. It made me a better leader in that space. Because when you go to Wits is a white university. Now, but being there and me having white friends, having went to a white school, but I'm coming from the township. I'm coming from a family where my brothers are poor, because we don't share the same father, and my sisters. But I had a father who could take care of me individually. So it trains you. It makes you a better person. That upbringing itself creates a certain type of a leader, because you understand life better than someone who just comes from a rich family. You understand life from someone who just comes from a complete poor background. I experienced both lives. and it creates a rare breed. So at Wits, you have a lot of rich people, filthy rich people, who drive a student who drives a Lamborghini to class and an M what. You have all sorts of cars that you have never seen. You'll see them there. Then you have poor students who have good grades, who entered that space because they got distinctions, but they are from very poor background. So the inequality, the gap is huge and scary. Now the rich at Wits are protesting because they want parking. The poor are protesting because they don't want, they want accommodation. They want food. The other ones don't understand the struggle of those who want accommodation. You have Wits University demolishing residences to build car park. You have those who want the residences which are being demolished. So that's where the conflict began. You begin to understand that we are not the same. And it shaped the type of a leader that I was, because I can relate. I can speak to white people. I can speak to the poor because I understand poverty. And by the way, I was born in Swaziland, in the farms. So I have a traditional upbringing and a political one.
Okay. How many qualifications do you have to your name?
Well, I have a BSc in statistics and physics. And then I have a BA, politics, international relations, and anthropology. That's the one that assists me to write articles and do research. And then I now have the postgraduate LLB.
Okay. So this person said, I read about how he established a self-help fund for students to register.
Yes.
What is it that inspired him, and how did the funds help or have an impact on students? And also, does he want to have a foundation in future to assist students, or he's focused on the outside life of the varsity?
Well, when I was president, when I was SRC president in 2014, 2015, the university excluded about 3,788 students who couldn't come back because of fees. They were owing fees. So the university says all these 3,788 students are not going to come back. They're not going to be allowed to register because they are owing. So they were financially excluded. As president, we tried to protest, to say the university must allow the students to register, because what if their financial thinking status change in the course of the year? What if we denied you registration but you were going to get money in April? What if your parents were going to get a loan in August? What if you were going to get a bursary? So then we fought, excuse me, but the university didn't listen to us. Then we said, we have protested, we have done everything, but the university is opening. They are not budging to our pleasure. Then we said, let us then now raise money, at least to register the students, at least to have them in the system. Because once they are in the system, they will be able to fight for themselves. Because it is difficult to fight when you are at home. You are here in Eshowe, you don't even know what is happening at Wits, because we didn't have the numbers, the masses to protest. I felt like if I can have all these 3,000 on campus, and the university now wants to deregister them, then you will have numbers to protest, because protest is all about a game of numbers. That's why the Wits fees must fall in 2015. When it happened, we could have 3,000 to 10,000 people on the streets, because it's those people who faced the exclusion. So we then made the 1 million 1 month campaign, and then we raised a lot of money, and that initiative is still there. It is run by the university. We ended up making about 6.5 million in that campaign, and we managed to register all of them. And then we didn't do there. We also worked with South Point, which is a private accommodation in Bramfontein. So it gave us about 200 beds. So we managed to give students, those who didn't have places to sleep. And then we also worked with Nestle. So Nestle donated food parcels to students who were needy. So we started something called Food Bank. But how did we initially started the food bank is that we went to students who were eating in the dining hall. We said, guys, you eat 3 meals a day. And sometimes you don't eat all the 3 meals. Can you at least donate 1 meal to a poor student? Surrender 1 meal, just 1 meal. And then we managed to do that. Then we had residences which were self-catering. We said to those who were in self-catering, can they donate tins, canned foods and stuff? And then that's when it gained traction and people donated like Nestle. It took over from there. Till today, at Vets, there is a food bank. Students still queue to go and receive food. We thank the university for continuing with that initiative, even after we had left office. Then we got Gift of the Givers. Gift of the Givers, they give 1 meal per day. Students, in lunchtime, students go to eat at Vets, even today, through Gift of the Givers. So that was the achievement that I think my SRC, a huge achievement that we made. We donate sanitary towels to those who need it. We donate toiletries. It all started by us collecting it from other students. But then we felt that other people couldn't come to fetch it because, in as much as you are poor, you don't want people to know you're poor.
Yeah.
Coming to the SRC to queue for toothpaste, a roll-on, sanitary pads, and those kind of things. Then, the then Dean of Students, Pamela Dube, who understood life of students, said to me as president, let us form an office separately that will deal with these things so that you don't know who benefited from your initiative. What if now you are a woman and you were getting sanitary towels and then the president asks you out? You feel like you can't say no because you see those kind of things. So then we took it out of the SRC to create an office for it specifically that deals with it. It's still there. Yes.
Okay.
Well, on the issue of foundation, I would love to have a foundation.
Okay.
I am a humanitarian. I love people. I love helping people. When I was young, I used to love rich people. But as I grew old, I love people who touch lives. I now don't care how big your house is, how big your car is, but how many lives have you touched? So it's all about touching lives.
Did the EFF really try to recruit you? The media said it was Dalimpof who approached you during the Fees Must Fall movement, and also the feud between you and the EFF guy president at the time. I forgot his name. It's Vuyani.
Yes.
So
Well, look, I have a close relationship with Dalimpof. I love him as a man, as a father, and as a parent, and as a perspective and aspiring advocate. They are the people we look up to. They represent the black intelligentsia and the black excellence in the legal space. Him, Dalimpofu, Tembeka Ngcuka Itobi, Moses Kakane, Dumisa Ntsebenza, Nchali Nchali, Khumalo. There are quite a number of these chaps that we look up to, and politically as well. Dali was a student leader at Vets. He led the SRC during his time. He was arrested as well. He was delayed. Dreams were deferred as well because he couldn't graduate on record time and all those. So we look, they are our role models. Also, Dali was a lecturer at Vets at some point. To come back to your question, remember when politics, there are those who say it is a game. Just like Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. You will always want a player from Orlando Pirates to go and play for Kaizer Chiefs. And there's nothing wrong with identifying capacity. For them to feel like you can find a better home in the EFF, it means they had identified capacity. And yes, I was approached, and even today, I still get approached by members of the EFF and leaders of the EFF who feel that with your politics, you can be best fitted in the economic freedom fighters. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's everything right with them to identify capacity, to say, you can do better this side. And Vuyan is my friend, Vuyan Pambo. We let Fees Must Fall together. I was president at the time. He was the leader of the EFF at VETS. And my style of leadership, I didn't want, we could have led the protest as PYA, but I wanted unity because what we were fighting for affected PYA, EFF, DA, IFP. It affected a black child. It didn't matter which political affiliation you belong. As long as you were black, it affected you. Yes, Dali did approach me to join the EFF, and we still talk about it and laugh about it, and he still feels that I should still make that decision. Maybe one day I'll consider it.
Okay. The next question, this person said, may he tell us about his personal upbringing? So your personal upbringing, not necessarily looking at...
My mother was a PAC member. He was a soldier of the PAC. So he went to Swaziland just like all other freedom fighters who were running against the prosecution and persecution at the time in South Africa. And then that's how my father was also a member of the MK. He was an ANC member. My mother is PAC, my father was ANC. Probably that's what makes me to be what I am today, because I subscribe to Black consciousness and Pan-Africanism, but I am a member of the ANC. That's why a lot of people maybe don't understand me, to say, why is this one speaking like this when he's in the ANC? My mother is PAC. Now, then I came to South Africa in 2002, and then I've been a student here and a resident and staying with my mother since then. My mother passed away in 2018. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any regrets about being in the front lines of the Fees Must Fall movement now that you have been stripped of your legal career?
Well, I don't have regrets on anything. You see, let me tell you, politics is a calling.
Okay.
So it's a calling. Ubizo. We don't know why we did what we have to do, but I feel like it had to be done. But the question is that why me? We didn't choose ourselves to be leaders at the time. We didn't choose to be at that space and in that time. So it means it's God's choosing. So it's a calling. I normally don't regret what I have done. I regret what I haven't done. I did what I had to do at the time. And like I said, the legal career is not completely gone. It's just delayed. A lot of things have been happening. It's the legal career, it's citizenship that was being questioned. So we are dealing with quite a lot. But hopefully, before the end of the year, we would have sorted everything, probably appeal the judgment, and also appeal with the Minister of Justice for expungement. When we say expungement, we mean cleaning the criminal record, because government has capacity to clean a criminal record. They don't say you were not found guilty. they just clean the record that the fingers, then we can practice. We are still optimistic that we will serve. But if we don't, we suffered the consequences of our calling. Yeah.
Okay. I think this is the last question.
Yes.
They asked, Uguti, what does it mean to you when people refer to you as Steve Biko? Like on Twitter, you know, they like Steve Biko did not die, but he multiplied through you. So how do you feel about that? I mean, Steve Biko was a giant.
Yeah.
So
well, it puts a lot of pressure on me as an individual. Because as you have said, that Biko was not just your normal person on the streets. He was an intellectual. He was a thinker. He was a visionary. So now, once people put you in that same level as these people, they then expect a lot from you. So it then says that there is no room for mistake on my side. You know, sometimes I go on Facebook and write jokes or something that is not intellectual. People say, "Hi, we don't expect that from you." You know, so people already expect more from me to say, "Hi, leader, yourself, you can't do that," and stuff like that. But at the same time, it inspires me. It keeps me going. It says that people appreciate me. You know, when you are playing soccer, young people who play soccer, they always call themselves with soccer names. We grew up calling ourselves with soccer name Teenage Dladla, Dr. Kumalo, Tiki Tiki Moki. You know what you understand? So again, now, even if you are in the political space and people can relate or associate you with other struggling icons, then it means that there's something good that you are doing, but it comes with a lot of pressure, of course.
That's it with the Q&A that was conducted on Facebook.
Yes.
Thank you so much for well, I've thanked you, but it was for part 1, so for part 2 ngiyabonga futhi nakhona for being part of my YouTube channel. And by the way, guys, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more content ekanje, and like the video and do comment down below. Thank you.
Lucha continua. Izwe lethu Africa tata.
Thank you.